Welcome into another edition of Inside Tiger Football presented by Rib Crib. One last regular season game and another chance to talk to Coach Hill here on Inside Tiger Football. Thank you for joining us here, Coach. First question for you is always just the most simple one is I want to go back to that Edmond Memorial game and just get your general thoughts from the 29-17 win.
It was a good win, and when you go on the road and go out west against another, at that point in time, they were 5-2 football team. Very good football team, semifinal football team last year with a lot of kids coming back. Very satisfying to walk out there with a win. Felt good, and I know our kids felt good about it. Having
a first-round bye now, that was the district seeding situation that was on the line. Mm-hmm. You go out, you get the win, you get the first-round bye, you're number 2 in District 2. How does that feel to be able to say you've accomplished that, and was that a goal all season long?
It was a goal. I mean, the obvious goal is, like I said, one is getting the playoffs. So obviously we achieved in a high way because of the bye. Mm-hmm. I do think that's important for you. To try to play 3 games, win a championship's common sense. Odds go up versus 4, okay? Yep. Number 2 is you had a little disappointed that we didn't come out champions of the district because that's your second goal. And the reason why that's such a huge goal is because that sets you up for the playoffs as far as being the third goal, the big goal, being the state champions. So, no, very, very pleased, happy with our kids to lose that first district game and to come back and be in a position to wrap up with that one and only loss. Of course, that's all you can respond to, and they responded very, very diligently.
Probably don't think too much about win streaks, but able to win this week, and it becomes 6 straight. Is that something that you guys are proud of and wearing on your back as well?
Again, Dylan, when you talk to the coach, and especially the head coach, is always different, and I don't want to use the word agendas, but thought processes. We're actually better than that, okay? Mm-hmm. So to say we achieved and did great, no. But did we do? We have made some immense strides, and as I think we get on this, you're probably going to come up as I may be jumping the gun. I mean, these kids are playing hard, okay? Mm-hmm. They want to win so bad. There's just still a few dilemmas on how do you do that. But as far as the desire of the young people, you can't be more proud of them and some of the strides they've made as far as being, like I said, a winning program, a championship program, big strides.
One thing that we've talked about in the early part of this season and came up again against Edmond Memorial was penalties. Mm-hmm. And that's something that's been a little bit of a plaguing issue. Yeah. Why do you think that's a problem that continues to come up?
I just think I said that's that concentration level, that understanding of being a championship program. And so you got to limit, people, as the parents almost need to hear this, quit using officiating as any type of excuse. The last time champions don't have excuses. They overcome any problems, okay? In that officiating, it wasn't the best officiated game. I sit here and tell you that, okay? Mm-hmm. But we had 3 unsportsmanlike penalties. That's easy to call, okay? We did that, not the officials. We jumped off sides 4 times, okay, on offense, and jumped off sides 2 times. You guys do the arithmetic. You're well over 70 yards worth of penalties. It's a game of inches. I don't know how many inches are in that, but it's a whole lot, okay? So, quit. That's just the things that, like I said, gratitude of playing hard and fighting through it. Yeah, but sometimes, we're fighting the wrong fight, okay? And we could concentrate even more and now come out with a 29-17. And I'm going to tell you again, kids, unbelievable. But to change that mindset a little bit more, you're going to win that game in another capacity too, okay? And that's what you got to do to championships. You've got to overcome any adversity. Champions just do that. Officiating can be an adversity. You can't let that control how you go about and play your football game.
We normally look forward at the end of this program, but I want to at least look forward for one thing while we're in the first portion of this show. Mm-hmm. It's senior night coming up here this Friday night. The 2024 year was a great year for Broken Arrow's senior class. It was a junior class last year, but now seniors this year, and they've really taken on a leadership role. They're embracing that and having to go through a coaching change, a lot of different things that they've had to go through throughout their career. Being able to put a stamp on it with a win tomorrow night would be big. Or not tomorrow night, it would be Friday night. This is Wednesday. But still, a special senior class, and how have you seen their impact on this team?
It's just neat, and I don't want to put individuals out there because that kind of sounds like it's probably not the best thing to do. But but when you take those individuals and then you wholesale that to the whole senior group, change, okay? It's not easy. I don't care what anybody says. I just had to change computers, okay? I'm getting to be upset for a week, okay? But change is hard. Expectations are different. The way anybody goes about business a little differently than the other person, regardless of a new job, taking over a job, whatever it may be. And here you got 16, 17, in most of this case, when you're talking about seniors, 18-year-olds, not adults, okay? So adults have a hard time dealing with that. How do kids deal with that, okay? So I say kudos to them. We've made changes. From a position coach change to expectation change to how we go about business, weight room change, just the whole 9 yards. They've accepted that, they understand that, and they're dealing with it. And so I just think it's unique, and it also goes to show that they've always wanted to be winners. They just needed to get a little different angle about it, and they accepted it, and I'm very happy for them.
A winning record right now, and looking to expand that with the game against Westmoore this coming Friday. But before we talk about the Westmoore game, we got to go back to the Edmond Memorial game. We'll break down the offense coming up next on Inside Tiger Football, presented by Rib Crib.
Get your taste buds ready, because we're bringing all the drip and none of the drama with our new sauced and tossed tender bites. They're juicy, crispy, and sauced like a boss. Bite into your new obsession. Only at Slim Chickens.
Hey Tigers, get the only card that donates to Broken Arrow Public Schools every time you use it. TTCU Federal Credit Union has donated more than $360,000 so far. Support the Tigers with your card today.
Tulsa Bone and Joint, Northeast Oklahoma's sports medicine experts. We are pleased to help you and the athletes in your life with a number of surgical and non-surgical options. Tulsa Bone and Joint is proud to serve as team orthopedist for local high schools such as Broken Arrow, Owasso, Sapulpa, Cascia Hall, and Bishop Kelly. Tulsa Bone and Joint, moving life forward.
Welcome back to Inside Tiger Football, presented by Rib Crib. Time to talk offense. Coach Hill, Dylan Rivera here. First question goes to something we touched on in the last segment, the senior class. I want to talk about Jeremiah Satimba. He did something on Friday night that I don't know if you were aware of, but something pretty incredible. And he's now all-time second in school history and career passing yards. Your thoughts on that and the accomplishment there?
I think it's neat. I think it's great, and I'm happy for Jeremiah because, again, as we talk about seniors and having to go through adjustments, when you walk in and now the position he's in January, he was just another quarterback on the program and also a safety because we were going to make you go both ways until we determined where we were going to put you. And we talked about change and fair, unfair, that's irrelevant. This is what we're asked to do, and there's a purpose for that. He fought through all that. So to see him reap some of the benefits of that and fight through that and literally earn those opportunities is really, really fun and unique and good for him and very happy for him.
Yeah. A lot of great passers in this history here at Broken Arrow too, as well. So he's been able to pass some of those guys.
Yep.
Early on, he made a pass to Zane Matthews-Boudreaux, a 57-yard touchdown pass. I assume that play was scripted or in the play call sheet. So what did you see on that play, or what did you see in film this past week that said maybe we can pop the top off on it a little early?
And I leave a lot of the offense up to Jay, but Coach Wilkinson. But what I saw was real simple: is that they love to roll their secondary into the boundary. So we threw basically what we call a smash route, which is a sit corner. Okay, with a corner route, you roll that safety down, that pops that corner route over the top. Zane Matthews open, good throw. He had to move his feet around in the pocket a little bit and reset. Got the ball to Zane. Zane, good route. Zane, he finishes. Zane can run. People don't know Zane Matthews. He can run a little bit. And good catch, obviously, and then outskirted a couple of people into the end zone. So great play call. That was the first series. And for us to go down there and put points on the board like that in that environment early, especially now, stretch the defense, great stuff, made us feel good.
Well, I was actually going to follow up with that question. Is scoring on your first drive, scoring so early, what does that do for your confidence on the field?
Well, it puts it out the roof. And like I said, we I'm sure as we look statistically and as talk more about offensively, we ran the football very, very efficiently. Well, people don't understand how that they go hand in hand. Whenever you're able to stretch the field, as we just mentioned on a 57-yard pass, and make you defend the field horizontally and vertically, it opens up running lanes too inside. As our big offensive linemen put bodies on bodies. Now, you put more bodies in than we can handle, you're going to have a chance to stop us. So to set that tone early and kind of let them know we're here, and much less confidence on our behalf, big time, huge, good start.
I think one guy we have to make mention of is Grayson Betts, because injuries are a part of the game. It happens, and Roberson and Sengo both unable to finish the game. So Grayson Betts comes in, and we've talked about him some on and off throughout the season. He's been in on and off throughout the season. But what's his progression been like from the off season to now? What have you seen from him?
Yeah, I mean, it's a sophomore that comes in, undersized kid. Not obviously, you can overlook him. He ain't gonna want to hear that. Very easy, as far as, like I said, his stature and everything. But what we noticed early is his vision, his ability to squirt through stuff, literally, and big playmaker. Not only that we've been able to see on the football field on Friday nights, but we see that throughout the week and in spring ball. We saw that this young man had some ability and causes problems. So he's continued to do that. We always call it next man up in the old game of football, and two backs down. Potentially could play, but not anything close to 100%. So you throw little Grayson Betts in there, and 100, you may help me here.
112 yards.
112 yards later. All in the second half. Yeah, you can probably win a lot of football games when you rush for 112 yards from one back in one half. So great job, Grayson, and he'll be the first one to tell you. We make sure that our offensive line did a great job of opening those holes and opportunities up.
He played very well. He was our difference maker of the game. So Madison Dildine was able to get an interview with him, and he did exactly that, Coach.
I'm Madison Dildine, joined by sophomore running back Grayson Betts, who was last week's difference maker of the game. Grayson, talk to me about your performance against Edmond Memorial.
First I would like to give thanks to my O-line. Without them I wouldn't be able to get that many yards. And my coaching staff for giving me the opportunity, God as well. And yeah, we just played as a team and had a good game.
Coach Hill talks a lot about complementary football, and I feel like we're starting to see that more. Talk to me a little bit about your team's performance.
Our team's performance, it was really good. I think we played as a team. A lot of the defensive players came downhill, made some tackles. Still have some mess ups here and there, but, I think we pulled it out.
That was sophomore running back Grayson Betts, your difference maker of the game. Dylan?
Thank you, Madison. Coach Hill, I got one last question for you before we go to a commercial break. And I want to focus in just more on maybe the offensive shift that we've seen from this season. In the early parts of the season, we had talked about the offense having some hiccups and having some strides that they needed to take. Now it feels like over these last few weeks, you've really seen everything click into place. 52 carries running the football, and that really worked for you guys this week. It's been working for you over the last few weeks. What's been that shift over the last however many weeks?
First and foremost, it's Coach Wilkinson and his staff, and then the players. The players are more important than the coaches. Have adjusted, found their identity, found out what they can do well, believe in it, believe in each other, and kind of looks like a little car wreck every time up front we hand the ball off, and that's what it's supposed to look like. And that's the reason why when you can put your will up on people and run the football, you have a chance to be a championship team, and you got to be able to do the same thing as far as on the defense side of the ball. It's also been a little complimentary. Now, our offense, like I said, we always had those drives that lasted a little too long on defense, and we didn't get the ball to offense. Our offense now is just doing just the opposite to the other team. I know in 2 games this year, really 3, Union, the Norman North, and now Edmond Memorial, I bet you none of those teams had but a handful of snaps, less than 10 in the fourth quarter. Because we turned around and handed the ball off, and they couldn't do nothing about it. Couldn't take it away from us. So great job. Way to be patient. Way to keep fighting. Way to find that. And like I said, don't be fooled that we can't throw the football. When the people know we can. Our quarterback says it, and we need to make sure we get those stats out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And everything's starting to come into place at the right time. Playoffs are starting to come around. I'll ask you one more just to follow up on that, is just your confidence level as things are coming to the end of this season.
And again, I'm supposed to have a feel for the team. The confidence level's high and everything, like I said. Now the old head coach has different agendas because of what the last thing we need to do is sit on our hands the last, this last week of the season, and then we got a bye week. We can't do that. We got to keep this momentum, and that's what it is, this wave, and we got to keep it going. And how you do that is by doing everything right every day. And so a little nervous there because we haven't been in that position. So, we get a bye and a home game. We are in the quarterfinals right now, okay? Yeah. Well, Coach, that's 3 weeks away. It's right now, Dylan. Let's go.
Looking forward to it. Yep. Well, we got to get through Westmoore first. That's the game coming up on Friday. But first, we got to talk about the defense against Edmond Memorial. We'll do that next on Inside Tiger Football, presented by Rib Crib.
While you are teaching someone special the nuances of keeping the wheel steady, we can provide you means for you to maintain financial equilibrium. First National Bank of Broken Arrow. First people put people first.
Hey Tigers, I'm City Manager Michael Spurgeon. The city is preparing for the next general obligation bond election in April of 2026. Just like the improvements to Albany Street in front of the high school, bonds help pay for upgrades to public infrastructure like streets and intersections, public safety services, parks improvements, and more here in our great community. To find out more about the bond process, visit the city website. Thank you for helping us build our future. Broken Arrow, enjoy the rest of the game.
Welcome back to Inside Tiger Football, presented by Rib Crib. Time to talk defense. Coach Hill, Dylan Rivera. First thing I want to talk about is getting into the backfield. You guys did that very well against Edmond Memorial. 5 QB hurries on the night, 5 tackles for loss. Was there something that was scouted on that said, you know what, we're going to get in the backfield this week and we're going to wreak some havoc? There
was. We've identified some things there, and I'm not being disrespectful to anybody, but they really struggle running the football. They have really done that all year long. We've identified that, so it allowed us to play a little bit more pass-oriented concepts, but still get after them. And so our kids responded well to that. And like I said, they never could, they being Edmond Memorial, find the way to consistently make drives. They had to have a big play concept, and they did make a few of those, obviously. But when we kept away from the big play, our defense played extremely well, as you said, kept them behind the chains, kept them in situations that are not to their advantage.
Third quarter has been a thorn in your side throughout this season, and against Edmond Memorial, they end up scoring 10 points in the third quarter. You guys go scoreless. Was there something that they did effectively coming out of the break?
Well, again, we talked about that, and it's really interesting, Dylan, when you just kind of study, and especially when you get a big piece of work now, 9 games, okay, and to watch how it started and the things we needed to correct, and we corrected them. Okay, but then they come back in a big ball game, okay, and haunted us again, which is the lack of third quarter production, okay, on both sides of the football, the penalty concepts, but as in other 2 games where we couldn't respond back, we did this time. So when you respond, it's just part of life. Okay, we kind of talked about it earlier, but we responded back in a big way in the fourth quarter. And if you're going to win any of them, that's the one you want to win, obviously. Yeah. And so, but again, something we need to work on as a team and as a coaching staff and myself of getting us more prepared to come out in that second half and be ready to play big time ball because. That's coming. Yeah, it's coming. Yep.
You had talked about early on in the season when we discussed the third quarter that you were going to maybe make some changes, figure out something to get the team going out of the break. Have you made any sort of changes?
Yeah, we did, and we kind of faltered on that, and maybe that's the reason why on last Friday against Edmond Memorial, when we went out there, we still had our little boom box, and I thought the kids looked excited, but I got carried away with something and noticed we line up down there and we go ones against ones for 2 plays. Okay, that didn't happen because we had kids running off the field. And it didn't help us any because of the halftime being so long. But, so, no, we're going to make sure. I don't care if we're up 42-0, down 42-0. Okay, that's irrelevant. That we're going to do those things coming out of the half to make sure we're ready to play football.
Well, you touched on it just a moment ago about closing the game, and that's something that certainly you've got to be proud of because there was pressure late because they had taken the lead at the very end of the third quarter, and you go into the fourth, you got to climb out of it. You guys fared well in that fourth quarter. So are you proud of the way that your team has closed games?
I just tell them, man, these kids are playing hard, and they expect to win now. And when those things happen, a lot of good things are going to happen. Like I said, from a coaching standpoint, if you can say it's perfect, we probably ought to end the season and move on. It's not perfect, but man, they fought hard. When they got control of the game, they expected to do that. And then not only did they get back on top, then they, kind of I don't know if I got very good descriptions. I'll just say we got after them, okay, and we finished it. An easy one that's not so gruesome as far as details. We stepped on their throat and like I said, kept our foot on their throat, and it felt good watching our kids do that and ice that game and take it away. Yes,
you have three guys that you talk about big players make big plays in big time games. You get a sack from Gabe Manning.
Yep.
You get an interception from Samaj Stanford. You get an interception from Nate Jackson. Three guys that really are a big part of your defense. Those guys are the ones that you really count on in the fourth quarter in those moments, right?
They are, because Gabe is especially if you got a lead, Gabe's so explosive as far as rushing the passer. I mean, he's just really good. This is a special kid as far as that's concerned. Nate's physical presence and ability to do some things there, and you don't have to talk about Samaj Stanford a whole lot. You just got to go watch the game and it take care of itself. And so not only an interception, but kind of a unique one. I don't oftentimes, my jaw doesn't drop and go, but it kind of did on that one there. And I looked at one of the other coaches. I said, yeah, I saw it. Okay, I'll make sure I saw what I saw. So good stuff. You're exactly right. Great players. Hang in there, fight through it, find a way to overcome stuff, and make plays when it's needed to put the game on ice.
You end up getting the win, 29-17, and you're going to hope to keep that win streak alive as you take on Westmoore this week. It's a big game here at Broken Arrow Memorial Stadium because it is senior night, so we're looking forward to that one. And we'll break that matchup down next on Inside Tiger Football, presented by Rib Crib.
All in all, there's not a better place to work.
Working at St. Francis is...
Working at St. Francis is...
Working at St. Francis is...
It's very fulfilling.
The work that we do is hard. The work that we do changes people's lives.
It's more than a job.
It's more than a job.
It's more than a job.
It's more than a job. It's a calling.
It's time to update your kitchen, just for you. Kitchen Tune-Up will make your kitchen look and feel transformed. Let's create a kitchen that inspires and uplifts you. Kitchen Tune-Up. Update, upgrade, uplift.
Looking for some iced caffeine, left you in the cold. No one knows why brown water costs as much as liquid gold. Told him your name was Brian, why does this cup say Nicole? But then you found paradise in your cup at the Quick Trip. No regrets to start your day.
Welcome back to Inside Tiger Football, presented by Rib Crib. Dylan Rivera with head coach Travis Hill. This week on the schedule is Westmoore, the final game of the regular season. It's been a great season. You guys are flying through it, and it feels like it's gone by in the blink of an eye, at least from my vantage point. I don't know about you, but it's been an exciting season and a good turnaround for this program to see what it looks like to play some winning defensive playoff football. And tonight, on Friday night, it'll be a chance to see that as well, but a chance to also honor the seniors and talk about the class of 2026 that is on its way out, and a really special group, but also, as you had mentioned, a great night to come out and just see a great event in that sense, but also the marching band as well, right?
Absolutely. So, my weather report, which is the phone, okay? Beautiful night, beautiful fall night, great football night, last game of the year here in Broken Arrow. The whole community, you have your seniors. What a great reward for them to come out on top, being winners, and the program itself. But you have all the other uniqueness that we have when we put on a football game here at Broken Arrow, beside the jungle and everything else. And I just think it'd be a great community support to come out and remembrance of this. Not only is our football team getting ready to get in an opportunity, like our volleyball team in the state championship game, their softball to make the state tournament, our football program now in the state playoffs with a bye. Quarterfinals, sitting staring you in the mouth, but our band's getting ready to go off too, to go get after one of their next opportunities to be national champions. State champions, national champions. So, they'll be out there prideful. I like that word, and fits in with the pride. Prideful of what they'll be doing on Friday night, and then their big send-off on Monday, that they have. So what a great opportunity to come out and support these kids, and that's what it's all about. So come on, let's go. Let's support it. The band, the jungle, the cheer squad, all the things that go along with Broken Arrow football, Broken Arrow athletics in general, Broken Arrow public schools. Let's go have fun.
Well, and you remember last time there was a home game, everything got so loud the refs had to ask for it to quiet down. Yeah. So obviously you can raise the roof, right?
Yeah, listen to me, jungle and band, make them. Do it again.
Yeah.
Just get after it and let's have fun and do it. And do it in a tasteful way, but man, let them know we're here. And our kids love it too down there. But like I said, I don't pay a whole lot of attention to that stuff, but it was kind of fun and an experience to hear the fans fire back, so to speak. So let's give it an opportunity to do and see if Coach Hill can have another good time on the sideline.
Well, as we look at the X's and O's of this matchup against Westmoore, they come in winless, but we saw last season a winless team can come in and beat Broken Arrow if you're not careful.
Right.
So first question I'll ask you is just about the message in practice this week as you're trying to keep focus on the target, trying to finish things out and not look too far ahead into the bye week and into the playoffs. You want to make sure you're still focused on this week, right?
No doubt, but believe it or not, we use those things as motivation for this. We have a team that's coming in that's had a hard time finding success all year, but that's not who we're necessarily playing. We're playing Broken Arrow versus Broken Arrow too, and about becoming better and finding ways to make sure we keep this momentum. And if we need to use some things on down the line, because like I said, we're not just playing Westmoore, we're playing for the opportunity to stay healthy, to be successful, to continue the momentum, to make sure that the little few things that we don't do well, that we clean up on, all those things are going to move forward. We don't get another ball game between now and that next one. So we need to make sure we do well here, and that's the motivation we're using, is saying, hey, not only on Friday night, but hey, this Friday night will follow us up later on down the line. So let's go out and play well.
Let's talk about Westmoore's defense and looking at their defensive side. Not a ton that really spooks you, but there are some skill players that pop off the page that could create some problems for you.
There's no doubt. I think Westmoore's full of skilled kids on both sides of football, and you'll probably come back and throw in a little bit of their offense in a little bit. But a lot of those kids we're talking about that play DB and their skill positions are going to do it on offense too, and they are very talented there, very, very talented. But as you kind of mentioned up front, defensively, they struggle a little bit. And most good football teams that are really good is because they can dominate the line of scrimmages. You hear that every Saturday and Sunday, okay? Which is the same thing in high school football, and that's where they struggle a little bit. So that's where they've been not able to get over the top, and obviously something we're respectful at.
You expect yourself to go out and attack the trenches in this ball game?
Yeah, we have several ideas on how we want it to go, but that's going out and doing it. But yeah, we'll attack that and take advantage of those situations. We're not going to just sit here and say we're going to be nice because you struggle in those areas. No, we're going to take advantage of them and hopefully see that on the scoreboard.
One thing that Westmoore's gone through is a little bit of a QB situation. I don't know if it was an injury or just moving things around in the lineup, but a couple of different quarterbacks have gotten in. How does that make it more difficult to prepare for this matchup? And do you know what the expectation is for Friday?
I spent more time dealing this week finding out who might be their quarterback, okay? Because it was for Coach, you watch film, and I said, yeah, I've seen 4 games, and I've seen 4 different versions, okay? And the last game that they played that we have, I still can't tell you who the quarterback is. So they've had some, obviously the coaching staff had a little turnover early in the year, and then you have this quarterback dilemma. So it's going to be kind of unique. We think we know what they're going to do, but at times we're somewhat, I don't want to use the word guessing. I think we got some really a little bit farther along than that, but it's going to cause you little problems adjusting throughout the game due to the fact of who is going to be the quarterback. So they do have a couple of good ones. What their health is, I don't know, and I don't think if I called Westmoore, they're going to give me much answers. So we'll deal with what we get on Friday night, maybe with a little adjustments having to happen real quick.
Yeah. Final question I'll ask you is just, as we had talked about early on in this season, and it continues to play out, is trying to get this team to a point where they know how to win. And you're on a win streak. You're playing a team that has had struggles. and trying to make sure that they come out in that first quarter ready to go, because Edmond Memorial played Westmoore just a couple of weeks ago, and given it was that night that there was a lot of storms going on, so their game got delayed. But Westmoore had the lead on Edmond Memorial until the middle of the third quarter. They're a team that if you let them, they can play some football. So how do you make sure that come game time, come 7 p.m. on Friday, your team is ready to go?
You know, you would like to think, as being a coach, head coach for several years, that you always have that proper answer. And I'm going to tell you again, man, players are the ones that go win games, not coaches. So it is truly up to them, and what little I can say and try to motivate and put out in front of them, okay, that they are ready to go play football. And I'll continue to challenge them. As you said, today is Wednesday. We've had to remind ourselves a couple of times. Beautiful week, so we want it to stay on. But again, today at practice, tomorrow when they're going to, every time they see me, and it's going to be interesting. Are they going to roll their eyes, or are they going to understand that this is important to go out and get better and go, like I said, put your will up on them. I mean, let's go and not give them any chance, because, as they said, they've proven, and they're like any other football team. If they want it more, guess what? You're going to be in a dogfight. So hopefully we want it. We understand what we're trying to do, and reinforce that, even just like I'm doing right now, coaching it up for those ones that listen to us on our podcast. So hopefully we can get that, players understand that, and get after it.
I'm excited to see how this one plays out. The final chapter of the regular season just about set to be written. Kickoff at 7 p.m. Our pregame show on ArrowVision begins live at 6 p.m., so make sure you tune into that one if you're unable to make it out. But, of course, Coach Hill wants to see you there. It'll be a great event. Senior night, Pride Senior Night has a send-off performance. Make sure you come out to Broken Arrow Memorial Stadium. Coach Hill, thank you for joining me. Playoffs not too far away. We'll have some Inside Tiger football shows coming up for those as well. Until then, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.